You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
What did it take to survive an ancient siege?
Why was the cult of Dionysus behind so many slave revolts in ancient Rome?
What's the tragic history and mythology behind Japan's most haunted ancient forest?
We're Jen.
And Jenny.
From Ancient History Fangirl. Join us to explore ancient history and mythology from a fun, sometimes tipsy perspective.
Find us at ancienthistoryfangirl.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Want more control over your life? You need more control over your money. Hi, I'm Jean Chatzky, and that's why I started the Her Money podcast. From understanding your money personality to taking steps to earn more, spend wisely, invest for tomorrow, and protect it all, I can help you get there. So join me. Subscribe to Her Money with Jean Chatzky wherever you get your podcasts.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neil. I'm joined here with Ken, Jeff, and Matt. How are you all?
I plan to be very serious today.
You look very serious today. You came in with an overcoat and a fedora and a pair of brass knuckles.
Yeah, I'm gonna work you over. See,
Jeff, you're his body man, which means you carry his bag and you have all the tools inside of it.
Don't look in that bag.
I'm not feeling this bit today, but maybe I need to get on board because Ken and I are going to be on the same team.
It's going to be all serious from here on out.
I feel like you'd be a good torturist. That the mob would hire you, you'd come in with a bag and you'd bring out some tools and say, I'm going to get the truth out of you.
No,
is it safe, Jeff?
I'm really bad at telling stories, so I'm rather the tortuist, if you will.
You just tell people I'm actually until they give up and say, I'll tell you everything.
Matt, are you the torturer or the tortured?
Generally tortured, yeah. That's retail life for you.
What about right now?
Right
in
now,
this moment?
The Bulls
Tortured?
are down 20, so yes, tortured. Tortured sports fan.
Well, speaking of tortured, the weather's getting nicer, so we're not really tortured with
Don't
cold
talk
weather
about
anymore.
the damn
Weather.
weather. We've had it, Neil. We've had it.
I was just doing it to get a reaction out of Ken, but it is fitting, though, because this is the beginning of May, and we're super excited that warmer weather is on the way to rhyme the term May. But we have some special guests here that are going to help us out today. First, we just want to give
Listen to what we say.
Listen to what we say and do roll in the hay.
Classic comedic method of explaining the joke makes it funnier. So.
Exactly. Well, our special guest here, we're going to start with, we have to give some congratulations to coming all the way from Tulsa, Oklahoma. The last time he was on was episode 66, and that was his fourth appearance on the show.
Which is absurd.
Yep, and he hasn't been on, and I don't even know, I can't do the math, but this is
approaching 5 years.
5 years.
Thank you. This is 313, but he is getting his 5-timers jacket today, and that's our friend Andrew Brown. How are you, Andrew?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing great. Thanks for joining us.
You.
Yes, we haven't seen you in a long time. Tell us what's been going on and how you've been, and remind the folks what you're up to.
Well, I am a teacher. I've changed schools since last time I was on. I coach football. I'm coaching track for the first time. I have my first track meet this weekend. I have a kid now. He's 4. That tells you how long it's been since I've been on. Yeah, that's pretty much my life.
Jeez.
And is he named Ken, Jeff, Matt, or Neil?
He is not.
Okay, well, that's okay.
Ken McNeil Brown.
Disappointment.
And just for the listeners at home, they can't see you, but you're rocking a pretty sweet mohawk. You said you did that for school?
Yeah, I do that. I start it around football season. I call it my war hawk. I spike it up during football games and stuff. And then I generally, right before the summer, I shave it all off and let it regrow over the summer.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. We have your 5-timers jacket. It'll be in the mail, but you're going to be playing today, and you're going to be partnering with Matt. We'll get your team name in a minute, but we need a host to play the game. And it is pretty fitting, this host being on the show today with the time period we're in. We're right around Cinco de Mayo, and we're just going to take credit that we planned it this way, even though we did it, but we'll let him explain that. Coming to us from Phoenix, he's a student at ASU, a Sun Devil, and Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon. Connor Greenwell. How are you, Connor?
I'm doing great. I, for one, am not too excited about the upcoming warm weather. It's only 100-degree days on the horizon from here on out.
It's a
That totally
giant
makes
heater.
Super
sense.
excited to be here today. I'm from Phoenix. I'm a pediatric pharmacy technician at a children's hospital, and I'm studying journalism at ASU, as well as Spanish. And I got a really fun game, a card game for you guys today, but it's the first 10 questions as well as the final round, all based around Mexico. So it should be fun. I'm excited to be here to host.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're excited to have you here. Thank you for your support as well. And it looks like Andrew and Matt, you're going to be partnering today. Andrew, you had a team name that you'd like to play with.
Yeah, so I decided that Jeff and I have pretty similar skill sets, so I didn't want to be teamed with him. So the name would be anyone but Jeff.
And that leaves me to be with Jeff, so I'm going to be Jeff all day. All day.
You're going to be Jeff all day, or you're both going to be
We're
Jeff
both
all
gonna
day?
be Jeff all day.
Okay.
I mean, I can
Jeff
give you
has to
Jeff
be-
for like
yeah.
the next 90 minutes.
All right, I'll take it.
I'll be keeping score here and probably, just standing in the corner here. REM, whatever you want to say. Anyway, let's throw it to the rules guy for our rules. And kind of, are we going to do a different one today? Maybe the classic music one we got from our friend Rue.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We haven't-
We uncovered that one again, and it's great. So
And
here we
since Andrew hasn't been here in a long time, we'll play an oldie, but a goodie.
The rules of the game are simple. 2 rounds of 10 questions worth 10 points apiece. In between, there's a swing round. And after that, the wager points have got 5 categorized questions, give it their best shot to be the cream of the crop.
Thank you again, Rue, for that wonderful rules read. Well, Connor, we're ready to go. Feel free to take the keys and run.
Okay, perfect. So like I had mentioned before, the first 10 questions are all based around Mexico, Mexican history, Mexican culture, and Mexican geography. So without further ado, question 1, they put a city where? Multiple times throughout history, this city has been the most populated city in North America, dating back to pre-Columbian times. Today, this city sits at a population of over 22 million people and quite literally sits between a rock and a hard place. Because of its uniqueness and long history, the city has become known by many different names. Name any of the non-English names the city may be known by locals.
All right, we are locked in. I think we have 2 different answers.
Yeah.
Neat.
Okay, well, I have one answer.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Tenochtitlan.
Oh yes, I watched a YouTube video on how to pronounce that once, and I don't remember it, so I'll leave that to you. So
Yeah, we'll lock in with Tenochtitlan.
I missed that YouTube video, so I'm going to say it a little differently, but Tenochtitlan.
Yes, I will accept that. Tenochtitlan is the correct answer. The other correct answers would have been Ciudad de Mexico or CDMX. All right, question 2. Hey, that's a pretty cool flag. The Mexica were the founders of Tenochtitlan and the rulers of the mighty Aztec Empire. But they didn't just put a city anywhere. According to an ancient prophecy, the Mexica were looking for a very specific occurrence as a sign from the gods telling them where to build their city. What was this prophecy?
We're locked in.
Ken, it is not the Christopher Walken movie Prophecy. Please refrain from answering that.
This is like exactly what we've been studying in world history lately, so this is great.
this worked out pretty well for you. How familiar are you with this, Andrew?
So I think it's something to do with like either an eagle or a snake.
I believe it has to do with both. I believe it is an eagle with a snake in its mouth.
Yeah, I believe it's something like that. 'Cause it has to do something with like Quetzalcoatlus or something.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know how to exactly phrase the answer, but
Yeah, I think eagle with the snake holding a snake is good enough. So we'll lock in with that.
Okay.
Yes, the way that they decided on the location of Tenochtitlan was they found the eagle with a snake on a rock in a lake. So they're like, that looks good.
What can we bake?
Well, that is correct. It was an eagle eating a snake sitting on a cactus in the middle of a lake. So question 3, Men's Warehouse winter beverage. The Mexica finally saw their prophecy come true in 1325 on a small island in the middle of a lake in the Valley of Mexico. This lake is where modern-day Mexico City sits, but at the time was the key to the rapid growth of Tenochtitlan, as the lake allowed for the construction of many complex canals that were used for efficient irrigation as well as transportation throughout the city and empire. What is the name of the lake?
You're going to like the way we answer. I actually don't know this.
All right. Well, we don't know this one as it turns out, so we're going to go the rock with the cactus and the eagle and the snake.
Lake, eagle, rock, snake, cactus.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's right. Rock, flag, and eagle, Charlie.
And it was strangely in English.
Yeah, wonderful.
The name of the lake.
My knowledge of this is no bueno. I don't know this at all. Do you have any idea?
No, I'm just trying to think about the title. I'm trying to figure out what would be a beverage at Men's Warehouse.
Yeah, Lake Cerveza, Pantalones. I got nothing here. I really have absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't either.
Unfortunately, that's incorrect. It's Lake
Coffee
Texcoco.
Suits?
Oh.
Not Coffee Suits.
Lake Texcoco. That's right.
Okay, question 4. Sugar were going down. When the Spanish arrived in the 15th century, they violently overthrew the Mexica and renamed Tenochtitlan Ciudad de Mexico, completely disregarding the Mexica culture. As part of slowly replacing the history of the great city, the Spanish filled in the canals and destroyed much of the infrastructure to replace it with European-style roads. Eventually, the urban sprawl of the city fully consumed the lake, cutting off the only natural water supply to the city. As a result, the massive city has resorted to pumping the groundwater beneath the city, resulting in what dramatic consequence?
What do you think that consequence would be, Andrew?
I mean, I imagine it sounds kind of like desertification.
Yeah.
Of the area. I don't know how specific it needs to be or anything, but it kind of sounds like how that is.
Yeah, there's no. Basically, it's a dry land now. So
yeah. So I think desertification would be a good answer.
Excellent. We're locking in with desertification.
All right, they say desertification, which is my favorite thing to do after dinner. But what do we say?
I'm pretty sure this has caused some substantial sinking of the city.
Significant sinkage is what you're saying.
Yes. I think it's on the order of 10 or more feet that it's already sunk.
They were on a pool. Oh.
So that is correct. The city is sinking at a rate of 1 meter per year. And
whoa,
yeah, it's pretty extreme. And I don't think Mexico City is going to be seeing desertification anytime soon, because they actually receive twice the average rainfall of Seattle.
Wow.
Ooh.
We're getting all these bonus facts too.
Would have thought.
Question 5. I didn't text you. Tequila did. Just a few hundred miles west of Mexico City sits the state of Jalisco. Jalisco is popular for many reasons. The birria from the region is unmatched. The beautiful city of Puerto Vallarta sits along its coasts, and the crystal waters of Lago de Chapala draw thousands to visit the state from around the world. But none of these are the most important part of Jalisco. More than 90% of the world's tequila comes from the state of Jalisco, and the other 10% comes from the surrounding states. But what makes tequila tequila?
Yep, we both wrote the same thing, so we're locked in.
So I'm pretty sure it's made with agave, isn't it?
100%, and I believe I learned this while I worked at MJ's, and I had an extensive tequila sipping session where we were supposed to not swallow, but we all did, and we took cabs home. Agave.
Yep, the hipsters love the syrup. We said agave.
So unfortunately, the answer is a bit more specific than that. It specifically comes from agave azul in the town of Tequila.
Oh, okay.
That makes
so
sense.
even blue agave wouldn't have been.
I would have accepted
enough.
blue agave. It's similar to champagne. How champagne has to come from the Champagne region of France.
Is that because mezcal can also be made from agave?
Yeah, so mezcal is basically tequila that doesn't come from Jalisco.
I thought Mescal was a Scottish or Irish actor.
It might have been. What about Pascal?
Pascal? I believe he's an American actor.
After that swing and a miss on Tequila, Matt's favorite karaoke song, It looks like both teams doing pretty good here. Anyone but Jeff has got 20 points, and Jeff all day with 30.
All right, moving on to question 6, quarterfinals. The agave azul is just one of the many species that call Mexico home. Between 10 to 12% of the world's biodiversity resides in Mexico. This makes Mexico the 4th most biodiverse nation in the world. Within 5,000, approximately how many different species call Mexico home?
Locked in over there. I love these within 5,000 questions. They come up so often. Where do we start? I think we have to start somewhere around like 40,000, right? Based on the plus minus.
I think it has to be bigger.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards 100 plus.
Okay.
But
That's
I'm not sure how high go. Because I mean, if you think about the different countries that are in the Amazon with all the biodiversities in the Amazon rainforest and stuff,
yeah,
there's tons of plants and animals and stuff. So I'm thinking over 100. I think up between 100 and 110. I think 105 covers that.
I think 105 is a good little mid ground there. So we can lock in with 105,000.
All right, we just went a little bit higher and said 150,000.
So unfortunately, you guys are way off. I was hoping to clue you in with the question name, which was quarterfinals. The answer was 25,000.
We don't listen very well.
I wonder, do you think we're getting worse at listening,
Yes.
or
Yes.
just worse at trivia in general?
We're too casual
Yes.
about the trivia now. You know that the trivia just comes at us.
Well, I think
and we let a lot blow by.
I think the issue is when we started, it was just us, so we were super serious about trying to do our best. But now we have so many more smart people on the show that we can take a seat and let all the smart people talk.
We'll know we'll never be the best.
That's right. Well, that's okay. We're content with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But question 7, we can crash on the beach. You know I want to make love in the sea. What sea, named after a Spanish explorer, but more commonly known by a different name in the United States, is referred to as the cradle of the ocean due to its warm waters and abundance of sea life, including large mammals such as dolphins and whales?
Not a good guy, but maybe he's got a sea named after him.
You guys are
I think he named a lot of stuff after himself.
You don't necessarily have to be a good person to get things named after you.
Most people don't, unless it's like a hospital wing.
Yeah, just like that. So let's talk Spanish explorers. Who do we got? Ponce de Leon?
Yeah, Ferdinand.
Magellan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's Spanish. He might be Portuguese. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pizarro.
Francisco Pizarro.
Good guy, maybe? I don't know. No, none of them
The
are.
odds are
Not a
against
good
you.
guy. Not a good guy.
The odds are not in your favor.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna give you a clue. There weren't a lot of good guys
mhm.
at the time who were coming in.
Yeah, they weren't coming just to hang out.
Yeah, right.
They had ill intentions. I have no idea. Ponce de Leon is what I would call it.
All right. Well, I heard that historically there's one good guy on his ship that came over and he was like, "What's going on? I hate what's happening right here." He was a pretty good guy, but who do we say?
I don't know. I think we were just stuck on the sea angle and we went Cortez.
That is correct. Mar de Cortez, the Sea of Cortez. The other answer I would have accepted is the Gulf of California, which is what most Americans know it by. Okay, question 8. Not just another Margarita Monday. Most Americans tend to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, but do not understand the true significance behind the day. It is a common misconception that Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day, but Dia de la Independencia is more commonly celebrated across Mexico on September 16th. What was the true significance of Monday, May 5th, 1862?
All right. Well, I got a unspecific answer. Hopefully that's good enough, or Jeff can come up with a more specific answer. But we're locked in.
Yeah. How familiar are you with this this battle that took place?
I'm pretty sure it's the Battle of Puebla, isn't it? Where the Mexicans defeated the French.
Yeah. They were I don't know if they defeated
Not permanently,
them,
but
they pushed them back a little bit.
Yeah, I think they won. They technically won that battle.
And they were very outmanned and outarmed, etc. And they pushed the French back at the Battle of Puebla.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said it was a great battle victory, but we did not know the name of the battle. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of grace.
May
coming
God
in
have
our
mercy
direction.
on our soul.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, points only for one team. It was the Battle of Puebla against the French.
All right.
That's a true Sun Devil. No excuses.
He's tough.
Do
He's
your
tough.
research.
Tough but fair.
When we didn't get agave and it was blue agave, I knew it was going to be a tough game.
Question 9. Mexicanos al grito de guerra. Mexico gets its name from the ancient Mexica tribe, as well as the valley they settled their capital in. Although the term wasn't widely used across the land until after the Spanish arrived and after the fall of Nueva España. Although referred to by many as just Mexico, what was the full name of the nation of Mexico?
Jeff has showed me an answer, and it looks correct, or it's magnificent fabrication, so we're going to lock in.
Do you know this one right off the bat?
I'm pretty sure it's the United Mexican States.
I am also pretty sure that it's the United Mexican States, so we can lock in with that answer.
And we locked in with Los Estados Unidos de Mexico.
Which is what you said, but nicer.
Oh.
So do we get points and they get no points?
All the answers are correct. So it is Estados Unidos Mexicanos. Or the United Mexican States.
That was impressive, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job on this.
I haven't taken Spanish in like 15 years, so.
Okay, question 10, final question of the first round. Similar to the United States, Estados Unidos Mexicanos is a central republic composed of 31 free, sovereign, autonomous states independent from one another, and one federal district where the capital sits. According to legend, when Francisco Hernandez de Cordova arrived in this now state on the coast, he asked the natives where he was. In their native tongue, they responded, "I don't understand you," and it was mistaken for the place's name. Name this state/peninsula that is home to Chichén Itzá, 3.2 million annual visitors, and a dinosaur-level extinction event.
No real idea. I know that Yucatan is down there. Maybe Oaxaca. You want to go with?
Let's go with Oaxaca. I think. Over Yucatan.
We'll go Oaxaca.
And we're going Yucatan.
Unfortunately, Oaxaca is on the opposite coast. It is Yucatan.
Oh, man.
My bad.
You said it, Matt.
My bad. That happens sometimes.
It happens. It's all right, though. Everyone should be pretty excited with the way they're doing here. Anyone but Jeff, you have 40 points. You're still there. Jeff all day with 60 points. So you're close together, and you did, I think, much better than maybe you expected, Connor, I would hope.
I got about similar results in playtesting, but...
So we're average.
We're not special.
We're about average. Sorry.
We're not Louis.
And we are going to be, for the second round, we're going to be should have picked Jeff. Just so you know.
I do want to shout out the playtesters in the Discord because they were very helpful in helping me put this game together. Because often when I would ask my friends, family, and coworkers these questions, the common response was, "I don't know." So luckily the playtesters at least tried to put together an answer, and that was very helpful.
Were they saying Yucatan or I don't know?
Well, speaking of the Discord, that was a great segue. Please join us over at Discord. We have a great community over there. There's a lot of playtesting going on, just general tomfoolery, some movie nights, some trivia. You can go into a voice channel and watch Matt stream at twitch.tv/TrivialityMatt. But join us over at Discord. You can go to the Crop on Facebook. You can hit us up on social at TrivialityPod. But our most important social is Patreon. And Andrew and Connor have been a part of Patreon, so we'd like to thank them. But also thank everyone who's joined us or who will join us. You can go to patreon.com/TrivialityPodcast for a lot of wonderful perks. And Jeff, I haven't thrown it to you randomly in a moment, so do you want to just give a little shout out about what people can expect over there?
Absolutely. What you can expect from Patreon is a huge thank you for your direct support for us. So as Ken says, it takes only just $1 a day to feed a podcaster. I don't know if that's true or
much less.
But for $5 a month, you can get access to all of our exclusive bonus episodes, and any level of support gets you our episodes ad-free, which I think is super neat.
Hooray.
Yep, and just to make a note there, all of our new episodes ad-free. We still haven't found a nice option for our backlog to be ad-free. We're working on it, but
it turns out that migrating 300-something episodes is a lot of work.
Complicated.
Yeah, we've got a few emails
and we're
about
too busy trying to make new good stuff.
Right, we're working on it, but all the new episodes from basically a little bit before 300 and on will be ad-free if you're at Patreon. So, and moving forward. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's joining us on patreon.com/Triviality Podcast. Connor, what is the swing round today?
For the swing round, we're shifting gears slightly. This is called the Hella Mega Swing Round. So I'm going to read the lyrics of 10 songs, all of which are either by Weezer, Fall Out Boy, or Green Day. You'll get 5 points if you can correctly name the band, and an additional 5 points if you can name the correct song. So without further ado, question 1. Because you're just the girl all the boys want to dance with, and I'm just the boy who's had too many chances. I'm sleeping on your folks' porch again dreaming. She said, why don't you just drop dead? Number 2, I can't help my feelings. I'll go out of my mind. These players out to get me because they like my behind. I can't love my business if I can't get a trick down on Santa Monica where the tricks are for kids. Number 3, where is your boy tonight? I hope he is a gentleman. And maybe he won't find out what I know. You were the last good thing about this part of town. Number 4, pay attention to the cracked streets and the broken homes. Some call it slums, some call it nice. I want to take you through a wasteland I like to call my home. Number 5, flip on the telly, wrestle with Jimmy. Something is bubbling behind my back. The bottle is ready to blow. Number 6, hear the dogs howling out of key to a hymn called Faith in Misery, and bleed, the company lost the war today. Number 7, I heard you crying loud all the way across the town because you've been searching for that someone and it's me out on the prowl. And you sit around feeling sorry for yourself. Number 8, she says she's no good with words, but I'm worse. Barely stuttered out of a joke of a romantic stuck to my tongue. Weighed down with words too overdramatic. Tonight it's it can't get much worse versus no one should ever feel like. Number 9, come sit next to me. Pour yourself some tea. Just like grandma made when we couldn't find sleep. Things were better then, once but never again. We've all left the den. Let me tell you about it. Number 10. Do you know what's worth fighting for when it's not worth dying for? Does it take your breath away and you feel yourself suffocating? Does the pain weigh out the pride and you look for a place to hide? Did someone break your heart inside? You're in ruins.
All right, the competitors are going to go over these questions, and we will be right back.
What it be, trivia lovers? It's your pal Ryan Buds, host of Trivia with Buds, a Monday through Friday pop culture podcast with episodes under 10 minutes to give your nostalgic brain a workout. With over 2,000 episodes, you're all set for fun and games on your next long flight, road trip, or weekend hangout with friends and family. Check out recent episodes on famous mullets, Dungeons & Dragons, classic cocktails, and tons more. And for info on virtual, in-person, and hybrid trivia, bingo, and game show events, go to my website, triviawithbuds.com. Cheers!
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We all know that eating right, getting enough sleep, and exercise are paramount for good health. But with all the demands daily life has placed on you, how much time are you dedicating to your mental health? Therapy can provide you with the tools that you need to take the best care of yourself. I've personally seen the benefits of therapy and believe that everyone would benefit from what it has to offer. BetterHelp's online tools and means of communicating with a licensed therapist means that it's never been a better time to give therapy a try. If you're thinking of starting therapy, you can use BetterHelp by just filling out a brief questionnaire to get matched with your licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. The program is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Triviality today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Triviality.
We're back with our swing round answers, and we'll see how we did. We had a lot of fun with it, but lyric questions are always tough. So let's get the first set of lyrics.
We'll see how this goes, though. Question 1. Because you're just the girl all the boys want to dance with, and I'm just the boy who's had too many chances. I'm sleeping on your folks' porch again dreaming. She said, why don't you just drop dead?
Look, I don't blame you for being you. We said Fall Out Boy, a little less 16 Candles, a little more Touch Me.
Can't blame me for hating it. We have Fall Out Boy, but I couldn't remember the name of the song, so we just said Sweet 16 Candles, which is partially correct.
It was, in fact, a little less 16 Candles, a little more Touch Me by Fall Out Boy. Number 2, I can't help my feelings. I'll go out of my mind. These players out to get me because they like my behind. I can't love my business if I can't get a trick. Down on Santa Monica where the tricks are for kids.
Yeah, it was a little difficult because he didn't do it in a falsetto, but we knew it was Weezer Hash Pipe.
Hash Pipe. As soon as I heard it this time, I had Hash Pipe. We said Weezer and we said Surf Wax America.
It was, in fact, Hash Pipe by Weezer, and I'll note that next time I read it, I should do it in a falsetto. Number 3, where is your boy tonight? I hope he is a gentleman, and maybe he won't find out what I know. You were the last good thing about this part of town.
So I was sure this was a Fall Out Boy because I remember the I hope he's a gentleman line and sort of the melody, but I couldn't carry it any farther. So we just said thanks for the memories as a guess for the song.
This is Fall Out Boy, but I think it was their first single. It's Grand Theft Autumn.
It was Grand Theft Autumn by Fall Out Boy. Number 4, pay attention to the cracked streets and the broken homes. Some call it slums, some call it nice. I want to take you through a wasteland I like to call my home.
So I think we shot ourselves in the foot on this one. We had Green Day for the longest time, and then we were like, maybe that's Beverly Hills. And we said Weezer, Beverly Hills.
We said Green Day, and we think this is Welcome to Paradise.
Oh.
It is Welcome to Paradise by Green Day. Number 5, flip on the telly, wrestle with Jimmy. Something is bubbling behind my back. The bottle is ready to blow.
All right, so that last one was a freebie that I whiffed on. So if I whiff on this freebie, I'm going to be mad. But we said Weezer, Say It Ain't So.
Yeah, the wrestle with Jimmy is what stuck in my head, which got it for me. We said Weezer, Say It Ain't So.
And that is correct. It is Say It Ain't So by Weezer. Number 6, hear the dogs howling out of key to a hymn called Faith and Misery. And bleed, the company lost the war today.
We said Green Day, American Idiot, but we may be the American Idiots.
This one I actually had no idea, and we just settled on it sounded a little Fall Out Boy-y, so we said Fall Out Boy and the Phoenix.
The company lost the war today line is really familiar.
It is, in fact, Green Day, but the song is Holiday by Green Day. Number 7, I heard you crying loud all the way across the town, 'cause you've been searching for that someone, and it's me out on the prowl, as you sit around feeling sorry for yourself.
We said Green Day, Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Oh, this is Green Day, but it's When I Come Around.
Ugh.
And Matt got it. It is When I Come Around by Green Day. Number 8, she said she's no good with words, but I'm worse. Barely stuttered out of a joke of a romantic stuck to my tongue. Weighed down with words too overdramatic. Tonight it's it can't get much worse versus no one should ever feel like.
And never mind, I'm not going to continue. We know it's Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, you're falling apart during this halftime. We said Fall Out Boy, Dance Dance.
That is correct. It is Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy. Number 9, come sit next to me, pour yourself some tea, just like Grandma made when we couldn't find sleep. Things were better then, once but never again. We've all left the den, let me tell you about it.
What was that lament, Matt?
Because I know the song now. I knew the band.
We said Weezer, My Name is Jonas.
Yeah. We said Weezer, but we thought it was Buddy Holly.
It is My Name is Jonas by Weezer.
Matt letting in a soft goal there.
I know.
Finally, number 10. Do you know what's worth fighting for when it's not worth dying for? Does it take your breath away and you feel yourself suffocating? Does the pain weigh out the pride and you look for a place to hide? Did someone break your heart inside? You're in ruins.
This is Green Day, 21 Guns.
Oh, that's a terrible
Or should I say
song.
21 Guns?
We said Green Day. We didn't know which one, but we said Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
It was 21 Guns by Green Day.
All right, after the swing round, it was the definition of a swing round. There's a lot of points being had here. It looks like anyone but Jeff picking up 70 points, bringing their total to 110, breaking that 100-point barrier, but picking up 75 points is Jeff all day, bringing their total to 135.
Okay, round 2. I'm hoping you guys like round 2 a bit more. It's just general trivia, so this should be a bit easier. Starting off with question 1. His last name wasn't Snow. In 1066, William the Conqueror of Normandy successfully launched the most recent invasion of Great Britain, starting the current line of British monarchs. His conquest was backed by a strong claim to the throne when there was much doubt surrounding succession after the previous king died with no heir. What was William's moniker before he became known as the Conqueror?
We can lock in, you think?
Yeah.
100%. We are locked in. Andrew's got it.
So William the Bastard?
Probably.
You think so?
Could be.
His last name wasn't Snow.
Right.
Is that?
And Snow is the bastard name that people are given in the North in Game of Thrones, right?
No. It's not just like the white?
No.
Okay. We're going to say the Bastard, which is what I call Jeff too. Jeff the Bastard.
Yeah, and I agree. It's William the Bastard.
That is correct. It is William the Bastard, which is
I
just...
should have called him Billy the Bastard.
See,
This
I would've-
rings off the tongue so much better.
That's
See,
that's,
if
a,
someone-
that's his WWE name.
If someone called me Jeff the Bastard, I would definitely invade England.
Then you could be Jeff the Conqueror.
I need a rebrand.
Question 2. There are many repeat city names across the United States. For example, I grew up in Miami, but it was a small mining town in eastern Arizona. What city name occurs the most times in the U.S. with 88 different municipalities?
All right, we have a little hunch here, so we're going to go with it.
I read this not that long ago, but I can't think of it.
It's interesting in the sense that if there's 88, there are multiple states that have multiple cities with the same name, or at least some variation of it. Do you think it's named after one of the presidents? Is it like a Jefferson or Lincoln?
I bet. I think it's Washington, if I'm trying to remember correctly. I think it's Washington.
I would. That's where I was leaning, was either like Lincoln or Washington. So I also thought Springfield, but that was just for The Simpsons, so that doesn't help. But there are a lot of Springfields.
Yeah, I think it's Washington.
Okay, we were gonna lock in with Washington.
Okay.
Jeff wrote down Washington, and then he wrote down Lincoln, and I said, no, Simpsons reference, and we said Springfield. Fool.
So unfortunately, the correct answer is Washington.
The fool I am.
According to Wikipedia, Ken, Springfield occurs only 34 different instances, being beaten out by such things as Clinton and Franklin.
Ooh.
Question 3. Throughout most of civil aviation history, commercial flight crews were made up of 3 members: the captain, the first officer, and the flight engineer. Starting in the early 80s, the position of the flight engineer was slowly phased out due to new technology becoming available. In what year was the flight engineer position entirely phased out? As a hint, this year saw many drastic changes to civil aviation due to the events that unfolded the year prior.
All right, fellas, we're locked in.
I think it's 2002.
Okay, that would make sense based on the clue about the previous year, and that was when
the only thing I'm basing it off of is that clue. So
yeah, and that was when I had lost my job as a cashier when the self-checkout took my job, so I remember it very vividly at that time. So I think 2002 is a good answer to lock in.
We said the same.
It is 2002. Question 4. I know, you know. The actor most well known for playing Sean Spencer in the hit show Psych recently changed his stage name to his birth name to be more in touch with his Hispanic heritage. By what name does the actor go by now?
It's an acting question, Ken, so...
I can't answer a single site question right, Neil. And I'm not going to start now, so I don't know.
Are you familiar with this television show and actor?
I love Psych, and I love James Roday Rodriguez.
Ah, yes, 100%. we are binging it from the start. My girlfriend has discovered it, and we love it in this house. And it's James Roday Rodriguez.
Great pull, Andrew, because it is in fact James Roday Rodriguez.
I've heard it both ways.
That's for the 6 of you who watch Psych.
Okay, question 5. The longest contiguous border in the world is between the United States and Canada and spans a massive 5,525 miles, or 8,891 kilometers. This is a massive difference between the world's longest border and the world's shortest border. Spanning only 0.15 kilometers, name what 2 African countries share this border.
So it looks like Matt and Andrew are locked in. Jeff was over here thinking quite a bit. What are you thinking, Jeff?
Not good things. I think I'm in the right area. There's like 4 countries that nearly come together in Central Africa, and I'm trying to remember. So I'm guessing it's one of those borders, unless there's something else obvious that I forgot. So, yeah, we're just gonna say Namibia and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
All right, Andrew, go over your African geography that you're an
Okay.
expert in.
Well, not an expert, but I'm decent. So this
Okay.
is part of the world that I taught for 4 years with 7th graders. And I was about 90% sure one of them was Zambia, and I was trying to remember what was around Zambia, and we decided on Zambia and Botswana.
So Matt and Andrew got it. It is Zambia and Botswana.
Well, 2 interesting things happened there in the first 5 questions of the second round. The first one was anyone but Jeff batting perfect with 50 points, bringing their total to 160. And the second interesting thing is that's a lead change because Jeff all day picking up 20 points and their total is 155. So anyone but Jeff in the lead by 5 points.
Okay, question 6 is a math question, so you'll want to write this one down. So the scenario is you are a pharmacy technician working in a hospital dispensary. You will be preparing a batch of intravenous medication with the following parameters. How many vials of cefazolin, as listed below, will be required to prepare the batch? The orders for cefazolin, 1.5 grams intravenously every 8 hours. You are supplied with 1 gram vials, and you need to prepare a 2-day supply.
You get 1.5 grams every 8 hours, so you need 2-day supply. So that'd be 6 sets of 1.5 grams, which would be 9 1 gram vials.
So 9.
So 9 is our answer.
Yes, and in the exact same way but different, we said that 8 is 1/3 of a day, so we just multiplied 1.5 grams times 3 times 2, and then divided it out by 1 and got 9.
That is correct. The correct answer is 9 vials.
Yay, we get paid farm tech salaries now.
I wish.
Nobody
okay
in the playtesting got that correct.
Wow.
Wow.
Just don't listen to Triviality for more than 4 hours. You have to go to your doctor.
1.5
Yeah.
grams of triviality every 8 hours.
Yeah, definitely don't listen to 4 hours of Triviality and then call your friends and brag about it.
Especially if you have an erection the entire time.
Yeah, don't email us if that's the case. Just keep it to yourself.
No, please do email
Definitely
them.
see a doctor.
Please do email Triviality if you have an erection. Okay, question 7, the Neil question. In the United States, the MPAA is responsible for setting the criteria and rating movies. The criteria limits factors such as violence, language, nudity, and other content that may not be appropriate for certain ages.
Yay.
For example, most PG-13 films are allowed 1 use of per film, but like most rules, there are exceptions. This 1987 film used the word twice in one scene. Later in this film, there is a surprise cameo, but they couldn't get Chris Hemsworth because he was probably too young to be cast in this role at the time. What was this film?
Reluctant.
So the cameo is Thor, and I think this might be the Hercules movie that had, was it Dolph Lundgren? Was he Hercules? I think it might have been him. I think that this might be a Hercules movie.
I'm just trying to think of the Chris Hemsworth. What else has Chris Hemsworth played?
Black Hat.
Not the
Only Neil saw that.
I don't know. I don't really have an idea, so we can go with what you said. That's fine.
Okay, we're gonna go Hercules.
All right, I don't think it's the Adventures of Hercules, but I think it's the Adventures in Babysitting, because Thor would be, what's his name again?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
It is, in fact, Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah, Matt, you were thinking of Masters of the Universe, where Dolph Lundgren plays He-Man.
That is what I was thinking of.
Question 8. The United States military uses a highly customized operating system on their warships, especially their nuclear submarines. Because they are some of the last users of this OS, they have dubbed it Windows for Warships. What is the base operating system for Windows for Warships?
All right, we are locked in with an absurd answer. Just absurd.
It might not be absurd enough. We'll see.
It's like, how far back are you going? Windows 3.14 or whatever that was.
3.14159. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good release.
So I served in the Army and was trained in communications, but I would not deal with anything to do with warships.
Okay.
That being said, we did do some stuff on Windows NT.
NT.
Yes.
Oh,
That was,
boy.
but again, this was also 2009.
Okay.
So like that's the only in I have is we did do some stuff on NT.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not that, I have no
NT
idea.
stands for
Nice
nuclear
try.
time. Oh. You're
What does
probably-
it stand for? We called it nice try because it was not good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll go with NT. Windows NT.
All right. I've got a weird hunch that they stopped upgrading after XP. So we said XP.
The answer is, in fact, Windows XP.
Wow.
Well done,
I
Ken.
think I heard that somewhere
I was going
once.
too far back.
I was like,
I
it's
was starting at
insane
95 and working
that,
backwards.
that our national defense hinges on XP.
I swear, some of the stuff runs on DOS. I'm sure of it. Like,
Okay, question 9. Before I read this question, I want to say the clue on this question for question 9 is my favorite one that I've written. So I hope you guys are able to clue into that. So question 9, Evening Sphinx. What island, which is not a nation nor part of any nation, has the oldest continuously running parliament in the world? The High Court of Tynewald was established by the Norse to manage money and laws on this small island, ruling for over 1,000 years of unbroken existence.
All right, we don't understand this question, so we are tapping. I'm sure there's a play on word with Evening Sphinx, but I can't do it. Not going to do it. Won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have, Andrew?
Andrew seems to
had a
know a
whiff.
little bit about these night cats or whatever we're talking
Okay.
about.
So follow my line of thinking here. So the Sphinx had a riddle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is what crawls in the morning, walks in the afternoon, and like walks on 3 legs or something at night. And the answer is man. So I'm thinking it's the Isle of Man.
Isle of Man.
That's the only thing I got. I don't know if I'm right, but that's that's in my head. I think Sphinx.
Where did the Sphinx riddle come from?
It was
The famous riddle of the Sphinx.
Yeah, the riddle of the Sphinx.
From what?
I don't remember. I just know
From the
it's the thing.
Sphinx.
I
You don't know him?
What?
It's an Oedipus.
You can't just say from the Sphinx.
He's given
All
this
All right,
riddle
that
all
sounds
the
like a
time.
great answer. Tell them they're right.
Okay, yes, so the Isle of Man is correct. So you clued into the clue there because not only is the answer to the riddle of the Sphinx man, but in the evening, man has 3 legs, which happens to be the flag of the Isle of Man.
Because you walk with a cane.
Should have been a like a Heat reference.
That would have been nice.
Heat or Black Hat,
Black hat.
which we're gonna bring back.
I came up with a nice little speech exercise we can use before the podcast. The Sphinx wears Spanx, but Tom Hanks is a jinx.
Okay. I'm not doing. You can do that. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
All right. Last question of the game.
Yes, last question. Question 10. The United States interstate system was established under the Eisenhower administration to aid in national defense after he experienced how difficult and inconsistent it was to drive from coast to coast early in his military career. The United States interstate system is numbered in order from south to north, west to east, with highways ending in odd numbers running north-south and even numbers running east-west, with a few exceptions. What is the exception with Interstate 11, which runs from South Las Vegas to the Arizona border?
All right, we're gonna lock in. Jeff had a great idea on this one.
All right. Jeff has a great idea. Does Andrew have a great idea?
I mean, the only thing I could really think of is maybe it runs like instead of north, south, east, west, like northwest to southeast or southwest to northeast, one of those two, but I don't know which way it would go. I think it
Yeah.
goes northwest to southeast based on that geography.
So we will say that it travels diagonally from northwest to southeast.
so my thought here is that the directions are kind of irrelevant because they can kind of double back and swerve around and stuff. So any particular highway predominantly heads a set of directions. But I think the thing that's interesting about Interstate 11, if I'm picking up on the clues that are being put down here, is that it might not be an interstate. I think since he said it runs to Arizona, maybe they intended for it to go between the two states, but if it never leaves Nevada, it would be an intrastate, not an interstate.
Unfortunately, no points on this question. Interstate 11 sits entirely east of I-15, so it breaks the sequential numbering order.
Another lead change, a new score at the end of regulation. Anyone but Jeff picking up 30 points, bringing their total to 180. But they're going to be losing that lead that they had after the first 5 to Jeff All Day picking up 30 points, bringing their total to 185.
Okay, so your final round categories are Tijuana, Mexicali, Nogales, Juarez, and Matamoros.
All right, interesting strategy for betting. Looks like Jeff All Day is going to be doing 30s all the way down per Jeff's request. And you guys are doing zeros, so you're playing it safe in this final, hoping we whiff. So hopefully these aren't strictly Mexico questions because we might be in trouble, but let's find out.
Okay, question 1, Tijuana. Tijuana is the birthplace of this UFC Ultimate Fighter champion, current UFC flyweight title belt holder, and the first ever Mexican-born UFC champion. Number 2, Mexicali. Mexicali is not only the capital of Baja California, but is the furthest north point in Latin America. What is the southernmost point in Latin America? Question 3, Nogales. Interstate 19 that runs from the border at Nogales to Tucson, Arizona is the only interstate in the United States with what on its official road signs? Number 4, Juarez. The border crossing between El Paso and Ciudad Juarez is the second busiest in the United States and Mexico, with over 12 million vehicles per year and over 100,000 people per day. But no border crossing in the United States is the busiest in the world. What 2 Asian countries share the busiest border crossing in the world? And question 5, Matamoros. Matamoros and Brownsville are the easternmost border towns on the Rio Grande. Just east of these towns, the Battle of Palmito Ranch was fought. This was the final battle in what war?
All right, we will consider these answers and we'll be right back.
Priceline presents Go to Your Happy Price. What's up? It's Kaylee Cuoco. When it comes to travel, we all have a happy place. You can see yourself already there. It's beautiful. It might be sunny and sandy for some, neon and urban for others, deserts or rainforests or hiking trails. With Priceline, you can get to your happy place for a happy price with deals you really can't find anywhere else. Like up to 60% off select hotels to Costa Rica or 5-star hotels for 2-star prices in Cabo. Go to Priceline.com and travel to your happy place for a happy price. All right, see ya. I'm off to Miami. No, actually, wow, look at that. No, I'm going to Hawaii now. Ooh, Cancun looks nice. You know what? Belize looks pretty nice this time of year. Or, Palm Springs.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This episode is brought to you by Travelodge by Wyndham. There's so much to discover, and Travelodge is your base camp for adventure. Whether you're exploring a national park, escaping to the beach, or discovering a new city, Travelodge helps you get up and explore with free Wi-Fi, free coffee, and a great night's rest, so you can be ready for anything. Like being ready to enjoy the scenic wilderness of Yellowstone, the awe-inspiring Crater Lake, or the marshes of the Everglades. Adventure isn't far away when you stay with Travelodge, one of 24 trusted brands by Wyndham. Stay close to adventure at Travelodge by Wyndham. Get the lowest price at Travelodge.com. Wyndham Rewards membership may be required. Restrictions apply.
The answers are now locked in, so it's time to find out who will be the cream of the crop with these answers. So what are the questions one more time?
Question 1, Tijuana. Tijuana is the birthplace of this UFC Ultimate Fighter champion, current UFC flyweight title belt holder, and the first ever Mexican-born UFC champion.
Okay, so you said flyweight, so I wonder if that's maybe a female fighter. And I can name maybe one, and we said Namajunas.
Okay, this was actually the only one we knew for sure. And it's Brandon Moreno, but we're just going to lock in Moreno.
It is, in fact, Brandon Moreno. Question 2, Mexicali. Mexicali is not only the capital of Baja California, but is the furthest north point in Latin America. What is the southernmost point in Latin America?
Presuming that this is in South America somewhere, we said Cape Horn. That was about as south as I could name.
Yeah, we didn't really know this one either, and we didn't want to think too hard about it. And I think Tierra del Fuego is somewhere south, so we said Tierra del Fuego.
It is Cape Horn in Chile. Question 3, Nogales. Interstate 19 that runs from the border at Nogales to Tucson, Arizona is the only interstate in the United States with what on its official road signs?
So we're going to say that it is the only interstate with kilometers as the official measurement as opposed to miles.
That's an interesting thought. We said it's the only one with Spanish language on it.
It is the only United States interstate with the official road signs in kilometers. Question 4, Juarez. Basically, what 2 Asian countries share the busiest border crossing in the world?
I believe that this is Malaysia and Singapore.
We really hope that it's our answer because we need them to get this wrong. And we said it's China and India.
At over 350,000 people per day, it is Malaysia and Singapore. Question 5, Matamoros. The Battle of Palmito Ranch was the last battle in what war?
This one really bugged me for a minute because I kept trying to think of Mexican wars because that's kind of the vein we've been in. And then I realized it's not, and I think it's the American Civil War.
Yeah, we didn't think about it too much because we didn't bet 0. We said Spanish-American War, but yeah, I was thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure it is the Civil War, and it was in Texas.
It is the United States Civil War.
Well, the scores have been tabulated, and anyone but Jeff trying the strategy of zeros all the way down, which was a good strategy. It just didn't pan out for them because Jeff all day picking up 90 points, bringing their total to 275, making them today's cream of the crop.
Are you Carly Simon? Because nobody does it better. You're the cream of the crop.
A great strategy, except for the part where it didn't work at all.
Got to give it up to my boy Jeff here, pulling us through the final round there. I did pull my weight in the regular game, but
yeah, we wouldn't have gotten.
You came through hard.
We wouldn't have gotten
final.
that far if it wasn't for you. So
you went limp in the final round, but Jeff carried you to the promised land.
That's right, it's like Sam and Frodo.
Exactly like Sam and Frodo.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Frodo.
All right. Well, now that it's got weird in here in the Triviality Sweat Lodge, we're just going to go thank our guests for joining us today. So 5 Timers Club for Andrew. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Sorry it took, 5 years for you to get back here, but it's always a pleasure having you. Any shout outs, anyone you'd like to say hello to, parting words before we let you go today?
Nope. Just I'll probably play this for my students at some point. Especially my AP kids, because we'll be done with the AP test by this point, so we don't really have anything else to do for them. So
yep.
Yeah, well, I'll bleep the dirty stuff mostly.
Yeah, shout out to the kids. Hope you enjoy this episode and maybe come along with us for the rest of them and some of the old ones too. So thanks, Andrew, for joining us. And Connor, wonderful game. Thank you for just having a bunch of different flavors in this game. And we learned some things and we found some things out. There was a little bit of follow-up, a little bit of everything. But any shout outs or final words from you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I do have a few shout outs. I wanted to thank Louie, Casey, and Hannah for all helping with the playtesting. I also need to shout out my coworker Flo, who swapped shifts with me so I could be here today, or else I wouldn't have been able to record with you guys. I also have a podcast of my own that's travel-based. It's called Voyage Sphere. It's on Spotify if you want to check that out.
Thank you once again, Connor, for putting together today's game. And one more big thank you to Airwave Media, our new network. If you go to airwavemedia.com, you can find a lot of great shows to listen to on top of ours. And Ken, what are some of those shows?
Well, you got Fork in the Road. You got Southern Gothic. That one sounds good. And you got Facts.
I think
your brain on facts.
Your brain on facts, yes.
The
Moxie
logo
LaBouche.
just says Facts.
It does. It's a good logo.
Like. It's a brain and facts.
Yeah, the logo is more facts on your brain, but either way,
your brain on facts.
Excellent show.
So yeah, definitely check out airwavemedia.com. Go to patreon.com/Triviality Podcast to help support the show like all of the wonderful listeners who do. And for Jeff, Ken, Matt, Andrew, and Connor, my name is Neil, and that was Triviality.